Now, a garden I tipped for success was the edible playground for Dorset cereals designed by Nick Williams-Ellis. It's modelled on a garden he did at Chelsea this year and did very well with, but he's expanded on it, he's made it much bigger.
The good thing is that garden didn't go to waste. It was dug up, transported and moved to St Mary's School in Dorset, and they're using it there to help with that perennial parental problem of how to get your kids to eat the veg.
Well, I don't really like eating a great deal of vegetables. I hate parsnips. I don't like Brussels sprouts because they smell. I don't like cabbages, really. They're just really kind of...
Mrs. Rawlings, our head teacher, thinks that our new garden is going to change all that.
The problem that we've had in the past is we have allotments, but they're out of the school grounds, so we can only take small groups of children out to those at any one time. And now this is such a central feature in the playground, it means that every single child will have access to this at all times. And you can see already in the couple of days that we've had it here, they're already starting to pick into little bits of it and investigate and see what's in there. So it's growing, sort of fostering that natural curiosity. The club that we have at school is called the Eco Club, and those children are already quite keenly involved in developing things to do with the environment, so we do a lot of composting, and the younger ones in particular are very good at nagging us all, teachers in particular, to remember to do our own composting. But we also have our gardening club in school, and they're already developing things around the school grounds, and now they will have a really good focus that they can really work on and develop.
I think when you're very small, you're ready to take on board all sorts of things, and if you can actually handle plants and see them growing and eat them for that matter, it just awakens all sorts of senses. Well, I suppose my earliest memory of gardening is of having a little square yard patch at the school I went to, in which we were encouraged to grow our own produce. And I grew some absolute rubbish radishes, but I just got such satisfaction from growing them. It's just the excitement of seeing them come out of the ground and then being able to eat them. The Edible Playground scheme is about wanting to share that passion for growing things.
Our garden isn't just any garden, it's won a gold medal.
Well, Chelsea is inevitably a huge roller coaster of a ride, and I remember partway through ringing up my wife and saying, if anybody ever asks me to do Chelsea again, I am never ever going to do it, and remind me of that. But in the end it all worked out really happily, and we were just so excited that the garden won a gold, and then the bonus was winning Best Courtyard as well. I think there's a real need to help children make the link between where their food comes from and what they end up eating. Therefore, having things in gardens like sweet corn so that they can make the connection between the plant in the garden or in the field and the cornflakes in their breakfast bowls, or between the wheat and their bread or pizza dough. I just think those things are incredibly important, and if children understand the links, it gives them a whole new understanding of their environment.
I like potatoes, I like carrots. Well, I really like basil. My favourite vegetables are carrots, potatoes and roast parsnips. Probably lettuce, actually. Oh yeah, there are some fruits. I like apples. Apples are the best.
Chives are cool because they have a really nice herby taste.
But for Nick, our garden is just the start. He's going to make an even bigger garden for another big flower show.
Well, the next big challenge, all too imminent, is Hampton Court, but I hope when it gets there, it will continue the same message. It's 150 square metres as against 20 square metres, so it enables us to create an outdoor teaching area as well as all the areas for growing crops. And I have to say, actually, that coming here and seeing the children in the playground and the teachers so enthused about the garden is actually every bit as good as winning a medal. I do feel under pressure, and I look forward to it, but it's also with a degree of slight trepidation.
Now, Nick, I predicted you were going to get a gold. How did you get on?
I'm really delighted to say that we did get a goal.
Yes! I'm happy, but I'm happy for you more than anything.
Well, we
Brilliant.
were just thrilled, and on top of that, we were awarded the Tudor Rose, which was just the most stunning surprise, and just, you know, wonderful,
that's
wonderful.
the best in show. There's only one of those that goes round.
I know,
and you
we
got
were
it.
just staggered. But
That's fantastic. But you know, if you're trying to get kids interested in growing fruit and veg and edibles, what would you say would be like a really good plant to start
well, I think
with?
it's things with colour in them, so nasturtiums, daylilies, all of which are edible in part. But one thing that particularly pleased me was the borage, because you can do a delightful thing with that. You can pick individual flowers, put them in ice cube trays, freeze them, and then use them as ice cubes in squash or whatever,
Oh,
and
that's a
they
really
really
nice
sing.
idea.
Next week this garden goes down to Holy Trinity Primary School in Weymouth, lock, stock and barrel, to be
Fantastic.
rebuilt there.
So if you keep going and building these show gardens, then every school in the country is going to have one.
Well, it'd be great if every school did. I mean,
That would
I'd be
lovely.
really delighted.
Well, you're encouraging kids to get involved, which is what it's all about. Thanks very much. Now, if you want to get your children's school involved in growing, then the RHS has a schools project, and all the details are on our website, bbc.co.uk/Hampton Court.
When you look at the gardens that have done very well, they're very often just pure ideas, beautifully executed.
But let's go on to the edible playground. Golden best in
yes.
show, one of my predictions.
This
But
garden
it's
makes you
brilliant,
smile.
isn't it?
You
But-
smile when you look at it, that's
and
the
you
thing.
can almost see the kids running around and enjoying and learning and being in that
And the
environment.
attention to detail. Everywhere you look, there's something interesting, and
Yeah.
it's beautifully executed.
Yeah,
So I
that's
think well
great.
deserved.
But for
there.
plantsmen,
This is the Dorset Cereals Edible Playground Garden. It won gold and it also won the Tudor Rose Award, which is the best in show. So I'm just going to have a quick whirlwind tour. It's a brilliant school garden. This is the compost heap full of apple cores and banana skins with a plastic front, a clear plastic front, so the kids can see how composting works. And that's what it's all about. There's a few little labels dotted around, you know, just explaining things. Worms eat our leftover lunches and turn them into compost. So in here, we've got a wormery, and shows you the stages of composting as well. Really clever, but really beautifully done. The schoolhouse itself has got a green roof and also a brilliant rainwater harvesting system, and it comes out of this tap here. I've filled up a can already, well prepared. We've got grapes and grapevines, and we've got hemerocallis. You can eat the flowers of those, so educational. Cabbages and some lettuces in there. Courgettes, need a bit of watering. But you know, you can imagine being a kid in this garden. It's so nicely laid out and everything's really accessible. That's what it's about. This berry bed of strawberries in here. There's some blueberries. Bit of a superfood. Delicious. Sweet corn, potatoes, artichokes, and then it explains the difference between wheat and barley through here. And there's all grazing beds on this side, packed full of different stuff and lots of different colours as well, and kids are really attracted to colours. But they can just have a little pick of a strawberry. Wild strawberry is delicious. And then we come around here, right next to the classroom, there's this herb garden underneath an apple tree. It's just coming into fruit now, and it's just packed full of lots of different herbs here. You know, loads of them. I'm just going to give the rosemary a bit of a water while I'm here. But I love this garden. There's so much detail in here. It's so educational, but you know, it's also so much fun, and that's what it's all about. I'm just going to go and have a refill. So Rachel, that's nearly it. Nearly the end of the show, eh?
I can't believe it. It's gone so quickly.
It has. What are the highlights for you this
Oh,
year?
so many. I loved the roses, the festival roses. That was just beautiful. Then there's a small garden that I really adored. It was designed by children. I think it's called the Literacy Garden. That whole show is brilliant for families and children especially. Look at the scarecrow competition. That was wonderful.
Yeah, I know kids do love it. The edible playground here as well. That was really good. What about your Thai dancing?
Oh, yes.
With the fans?